Sleepy Hollow Season 3, Episode 2, Whispers in the Dark. Now, because I'm an absolute moron, I completely forgot that I didn't do this review until just now. Like, I have the third episode queued up, and it was just in my head, like, I don't remember talking about how cool this was, or how cool that was. And so I looked on my page, and I didn't even record a video. I thought maybe I recorded one and didn't upload it. And maybe I did, and I deleted it because I started doing that on my laptop to try to save space. And I don't know if I did or not at all, but I don't have it, and it couldn't, so I can upload it. So I'm doing it now. Totally useless, because only like one, maybe two people was going to see this. Although that's probably the same amount that would have watched it anyway. But Whispers in the Dark was a fun episode. I liked the flashbacks, so we got to see Betsy Ross again. I actually realized that the woman in the beginning is Betsy Ross. I don't know if we're going to see her come back to life in the modern times, or if she's just going to be a part of the flashbacks this entire season. I would love to see her come back somehow. Like, of course, I don't know how that would work, but I think it would be pretty cool to see a new person adjusting to modern times. And I mentioned this in the premiere, but that would be really cool. I think that would be a cool concept. I like her character so far. She's really funny. She was really close to banging a dude, but she just beat him up apparently, and just took his clothes. I mean, she was just in like a full-on nightgown after beating this guy up and making him think like, oh, we're about to have sex. She beats him up and just takes his clothes, and then she just walks out of the party in like a nightgown. It's like, that's pretty conspicuous. Like, I know they're about to take off anyway, but it's like, dang, that's just like really blunt. Like, she could have been easily busted, but I thought that was just really funny. I like that scene. And her knowing the name of like the ghost, which basically lets Abby and Ichabod survive in this episode, really shows how deeply involved she was in sort of the magical realm of this series, which I really love, because we have characters that are involved in certain things, or know like, oh, this is mystical or this or that, stuff like that. You know, just people know things in this show. And I thought it was really cool that she knew that information. Like, even back then, which really we still don't know technically how she found that out, but, you know, this wasn't like, oh, we found it in a book or anything. She just knew the name. Like, so she did that research. Even way back then, she found out the name of this creature and knew how to defeat it. And I thought that was really cool, because, you know, this is way in the past, and really the only connection that this story had to the past was, you know, his Ichabod's secrets and how that almost killed him. But the answer didn't come from anything they could really research. It was just like, he remembered, like, she was shouting, and it's like, that's what it was. That was the answer. So I thought that was actually really cool. It was just like a random thing that he remembered. And I mean, that's how it always is, but typically that leads to, oh, well, let's look in this book then, and that'll give us the answer. But he just remembered it, and she knew the answer. So, made me like her even more. I thought that was cool. Abby and Ichabod find out that Pandora is the one that's coming after them, so that was pretty exciting to see that they, you know, they now know who's coming after them, which is pretty cool. And then we have Abby and her new boss, who is her former boyfriend, which is fairly interesting, because Abby having a relationship is something new for the series. So I like that idea. They were pretty cool. I like this guy because he's like, you know, I know what you do. I know they're your personality from when we were training, and I'll let you run with this stuff. He'll let her kind of do her thing. Issue solved. Good job. Good day. Let's go home. So I can't wait to see that develop, because it's something we haven't had for Abby, and I'm actually looking forward to that. We had it like the tiniest bit, I think, in season 1 with the guy she was formerly dating. Even in that season, she wasn't actually dating the guy. So it was like her ex-boyfriend even in the first season, but it was like, meh, yeah, that was really it. It wasn't touched on really at all. So hopefully they do that a lot more in this season, and they can't exactly get together because, you know, you can't do that with jobs, but I'm excited to see how they play around with that, because they're obviously going to be close. They still like each other, still, I'm sure, have feelings, so it could build up again over time after it's, you know, been such a long time being apart. And I was like, oh, I, you know, still have these feelings, even though they chose to separate and it was amicable. I feel like that's just going to swell up again with them being in such close proximity. So I'm looking forward to that. We had a really cool side story introduction with Jenny and her possibly having like her own partner where we get Sheriff Corbin's son. He comes back into it, so that was kind of cool to see him. And I thought he was just going to be like passing through in this episode. It's just like, oh, here's what he's doing with his life now. But I think they're kind of bringing him in. It might not be this season where they fully go into it, but they're obviously starting something huge with these two side characters. And I love that idea because with Abby and Ichabod being the main characters and doing their thing this season, there's going to be other stuff going on. And so we have this brand new side story introduced with, I can't remember the item, even though I just saw it in the recap, which was very fortunate, and that helped, help remind me that I didn't do this episode. But it also showed off like all the main points of the last episode, so all of it's fresh in my head. But I didn't get the name. But there's this random item. Jenny's had it for who knows how long. No one cared, and then she gets a guy sent after her, who of course she knows, and they have a cool fight scene, which I kind of like that scene when he kind of gets the upper hand because he has the stick, and he's like, oh, she's just like, hey, what are we without our reputation? And he just laughs it off and is like, all right, get out of here. And it was just really funny. So now we have this really awesome side storyline with these characters that may not have anything to do, it may not even converge as far as the stuff with Pandora, but it's something else bad. It's like somebody super rich, clearly they hired a guy to go get this item, so it's someone who has enough money to pay a bounty hunter, pretty much. They may or may not be an organization, maybe like a bunch of people, it could be like one person. I believe the way it was talked about in the last episode, or in this episode, they mentioned the guy says like they, so I'm pretty sure there's more than one person. But now we have this crazy secret organization thing going on, and we have the Pandora thing going on the other end is like the main villain. So now there's like this secret villain organization which may or may not become the main, get main villain status in season 4, if we get that far. I hope we do. But it was a good episode. I know this is going to be like a super short review compared to my ramblings, but I can barely remember. I guess those are all the main points. There aren't any real specifics that I can think of. The enemy itself, I thought was pretty cool. I like the way they played it where, it's people's secrets, even if they were like tiny secrets. And, like the stuff with Ichabod, it was like in his past, he had a split second where he was thinking about betraying his friends, and he chose not to in the end. But it had an effect on him, and that was his big secret. And the other big secret, which is a very huge thing for this episode, is that Abby found her father, and she's been, like, basically stalking him, which is kind of funny, but she found her father, and that's a huge deal, and that was actually very cool, because I was curious when we first saw the guy. I was like, what's this random thing that's happening? And then at the end scene when she mentions that she was looking into stuff, I was like, before she even said it, I was like, that was her father. And that was really cool. And I don't know how long we're going to have to wait for this introduction to this character, what he's going to know, if anything. It's not guaranteed he'd know anything about the magical stuff going on. But at the same time, maybe that's why he left in the beginning. Crappy either way. It sucks that he did that. But maybe that's why he left, because he did know about the magical stuff, or he thought his wife was just insane because that's all she talked about was like magic-based stuff, and that's just why it happened. And I'm not sure the exact timeline. I can't remember like when he left compared to when Abby and Jenny were basically taken from their mother, because she did, people thought that she went insane. But I'm looking forward to meeting this character, and then of course we're gonna have Abby and Jenny talking about it, and Jenny probably isn't going to be too happy that Abby knew for months about their father. But I'm really looking forward to that. Hopefully it's in this next episode that I'm about to watch. I kind of doubt it because they just introduced it, and that's always one of those big things where it's like, really cool, but nah, you're going to wait like 8 episodes before you get, that big reveal. But I'm looking forward to that. I like the episode. The enemy was cool. Pandora, I guess whatever is going on with this plant thing, it's huge now. Like at the end, it grows literally from like this little sprout that she had to like some extra little bits of water. Like I guess technically she got 2, maybe souls. I don't really know exactly what it was doing. It killed the people, so it took obviously the life force. So maybe that's somehow fused with water, because that's the only thing that makes sense. Like, if it's just random water, then she just put water on a magic tree and it grew. But I'm assuming it had to do with the monster and how it was able to collect, the force of two whole people, and that's why it allowed for the tree to actually grow. Otherwise, like I said, it's just water, which is weird if that's all she needed, but it still grows from this tiny, itty bitty little sprout to like just a full on raging tree at the end. Not 100% sure what that actually means though, because nothing really happened with it. I mean, she still kind of just summoned the creature for this episode, but I'm assuming the tree has some serious effect that's going to take place, possibly in the third episode, since it did grow to full potential. And if I remember right, they even show like a flower blooming and stuff on the tree. So it's reached very, at least if not full potential, very close to full potential. And that could have something to do with a brand new threat, even stronger threat, maybe virus style or something like that, since it's kind of literally rooted in the city itself. But we'll see how everything plays out. I will, of course, see right now. You guys have probably already seen, since this is so late. But either way, I want to know what you guys thought about this episode. So please comment below. Let me know your favorite parts, your least favorite parts. And my question is, what do you guys think about Abby having found her father? Like, where do you guys think that's going to take all of our characters? Because, of course, the least, effect is going to be on Ichabod. But Abby and Jenny is the greatest effect. And that's 2 out of our 3, main characters. So, yeah, that's going to be very interesting. So I want to know where you guys think that's going to lead to. I think it'll lead to, honestly, sort of a typical thing where they're just going to find out some stuff. They might throw in the crazy twist where even he knew about magic stuff, or, that's why he left. And then I doubt they'd introduce him to it. I highly doubt that would happen if he left because, like, oh, your mom was insane. And I still kind of suck because I still love my daughters, but if that was the reason, I still doubt they'd be like, well, she wasn't insane and ghosts and everything. So I'm not 100% sure where it's going, but looking forward to it no matter what. And like I said, I want to know what you guys thought, so please comment below, let me know. Sorry this was incredibly late and totally pointless almost at this point, but still, thanks for watching.